Hello guys, welcome to another video tutorial. Here I'll be showing you how to configure a DHCP. Okay, on this video, DHCP simply means dynamic host configuration protocol. Okay, um, it basically allows you to issue out IP addresses automatically to client computers on the network, and to do that you go for add roles, and you go for next this page. Okay, so here we'll select the DHCP server role, go for add features, and then you go for next. Okay, next, and you go for next as well. Now this will install the role, so I'll get back when it's done. Okay guys, so we just finished installation. As you can see, we have a pop-up here about the new installation finished. Here's it. Okay, so just close that, and then show one thing: make sure that the server you're configuring the DHCP on must be part of the domain. You must have joined it to the domain controller first before you start configuring the role, and make sure that you're logged onto it, okay, as the domain administrator. Okay, and then you can install this. Now on this server we finished installing our DHCP, which is here, so we need to complete the configuration by clicking on this button here, and and go for next on this interface. That's the configuration wizard, and here you leave us with our current credential we're using logging on, and you make sure you authorize it from this place. If not, you get issues whilst you finish configuring. Now we go for commit, okay, and then you go for close. Now after this, we've authorized our server, our DHCP configuration. We've authorized our DHCP configuration. The next thing to do is go to tools, and then you see your DHCP. Okay guys, now DHCP will pop up its interface here, and now we'll create something we call scope. Okay, we can create more than one scope, okay, of DHCP. As you can see here, we have no scope yet. So to create a scope, just right click on it, because we want to create an IPv4 scope. We right click on it, and then you go for new scope. Okay, and then you go for next. Now basically a scope just gives you a range of IP address to give to a particular network, okay, in your domain. So we give it a name. Let's call it first scope. Okay, you can describe it. It can be a departmental name, anything. You go for next, and then here you give in the IP address range of the system. So I will start from .5 because that is the range of my network address, which is class C. So I'll start from .5 to .20. So the first host should be given what? .5. Okay. Now you go for next, and here we have exclusions. Okay, exclusions basically are IP addresses, okay, addresses or range that you don't want the DHCP to distribute, okay, to the client machines. Okay, you don't want this IP address, or the IP address you don't want to be distributed by the server, okay, are the ones you put there. I'm not excluding any, so I'm going to leave that. And here we have lease duration, that is after 8 days, or the 50%. It usually works with 50% of the days of the lease duration. Now in this case, when it's 8, after 4 days, the IP address of the client should be replaced. Okay, that is, the clients or the systems that have been given automatic IP address should request for a new one from this DHCP server. Okay, so now you can increase that if you want. You can reduce it, but by default it is 8 days. Until you only use 50%, that's why I say 4 days. Okay, doesn't wait till the 8 days is met before the clients go ahead for renewing the IP address. If not, there will be problems with connectivity. So leave for 8 days, and you go for next, and then here it talks about configuring DHCP options. You go for okay, yes, I want to configure. If you're having the DHCP a gateway, if you're having a gateway on your network, you set all the gateways here and you add them up. Okay, here if I have a gateway address, I can put them here just to pile up the gateway address with the addresses that we issue out to the clients, so that the clients can also know which server or which system is a gateway. And go for next. And here we have providing the DNS. Here you need to provide a parent domain here, and you insert all the DNS server. Here this is the name of this is the IP address of my DNS server, so I'm gonna leave that and go for next. The Win server, I have none on my network, so I'll go for next. And here it's asking me, do I want to activate this scope? I'll go for yes, I want to activate. As simple as that. We've created a DHCP scope. Okay, here we have the address pool that is from .5 to 20, just like we gave, and address list are none yet because no system on the network has received an IP address yet. Okay, so now if you want, in case you have some problems with the DHCP, you want to change it, or sorry, you have problems with the DNS, you want to change it, you can come to the scope options and change the IP address of the DNS and all that. Okay, now guys, let's go ahead, okay, to our client PC and make sure that our client PC receives an IP address automatically from our DHCP server. So I'll meet you on the client machine. Okay guys, here on my client PC. Okay, now I have to log on, okay, to the system. I have a user, okay, which is called Vincent, which is me. So I'll type in my password. Okay, and on this system here, okay, let's say it's your client system. For it to be able to receive an IP address from the DHCP server, you need to make sure that the adapter settings here has the network adapter settings. Okay, I'm logging in as I logged in as a just normal user. So, and what I'm about to do can be done with a normal user's account. So you have to be the administrator to be able to do that. So now the administrator needs to come to provide his credentials. So the administrator came in here. So now on the properties of the network card here, you make sure that the host PC is set to what? Obtain addresses automatically. You have to make sure that it's set to receive an automatic address from a server. Okay, go for OK and you go for close. Now in this case guys, this PC will try to what? Look for a DHCP server on the network, and it will try to look for a DHCP server on the network, okay, which can issue it an IP address. So in this case, we are going to try. You can see it's identifying. So let's finish identifying the network now. Okay, so now let's check our DHCP server to see if it is issued out an IP address to our client. Okay guys, you can see that now we have one address list, okay, to our DHCP client. Simply means that that particular PC we just accessed, okay, this is the name, okay, this is a fully qualified domain name. As you can see, it has been joined to the list, okay, of computers that have been given IP address. Okay, so here we have just one scope we created just for a particular portion of our network or a particular network of our own. Okay guys, so that's how, okay, we configure a DHCP server on server 2012, and it's basically the same steps on Windows Server 2008 and 2008 how to as well. And another, for some reason, when you finish configuring your DHCP server and you have a client connected to the network, you might not get, okay, the IP address issued immediately or leased to the computer immediately, to the client computer immediately. So you can right click on your DHCP server here, you go to all tags and restart the service a couple of times and the server a couple of times and the client as well, just to make sure it receives an IP address on restart. Okay, so in case you configure and it's not working properly, or it's not giving out addresses, you can restart the service. Okay, just like I've shown you, or you restart the server, okay, and the client systems as well. And that should be it for DHCP configuration. If this video has helped you in any way, just give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel. Peace out.